Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'll be making an experimental soap. I am going to be putting egg yolk. Yes, you heard that right. Egg yolk in my soap. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that there was a time when I actually did an experiment where I did a lather test, and I'll leave it up there for you guys. You can go back and watch that video. I did a lather test with an egg yolk soap and I really liked it. So I've just decided to try it out. This time I'm not doing a lather test, but I'm just going to show you guys how the batter turned out, how the soap turned out, and just how beautiful it is. And then when it's cured, I'll come back and do a lather test. So for now, I'm just measuring out my hard oils, and for now I'm measuring out shea butter and lard. I also used coconut oil, but I forgot to measure it. You'll see that I did the heat transfer method here because I wasn't like, no, there's no design to this soap. There's no additives besides citric acid. And here is the egg, the star of the show. So this is what I'm going to be adding. I will not be using the egg white. I'm just going to be using the egg yolk. And so here is me. You're going to see me trying to break it with the first one. Let you guys see it. So you see with the first one, I damaged the yolk. So I kind of looked at it for a second and thought, what do I do? Can I use this? Can I not? So I decided to break a second one. So once I had my eggs, I set them aside far from my work table. Trust me, guys, because I knew I was still gonna eat the other egg. Like, I was gonna eat the rest of the eggs. So I didn't want to put it around where I was soaping. And then now I decided to measure out some distilled water. Then I'll add some citric acid that I usually just add to combat soap scum. But this literally is my only additive in this soap because I do not want anything that could interact with the egg yolk and kind of affect its function, because I want to see how that egg yolk is going to perform when the soap is ready. So now I'm just measuring out some lye, and then I will go ahead and dissolve the lye in the citric acid solution slowly before I then proceed with the soap process. So once that is dissolved, I am now pouring the hot lye water into my shea butter and lard. This is where there was a slight, it wasn't a mistake. I just forgot to add my coconut oil, but then I remembered at some point, and you're going to see that I still added it. The good thing is coconut oil does have a low melting point, and so it was easy to still add it, and it's still melted and incorporated. But guys, please just be very careful. Make sure you tick all your oils as you're adding them, because it's so easy to actually forget an oil and then end up with a lye heavy soap. So here is me just dissolving the lard and the shea butter with the lye water. This is heat transfer method. What it is you just use the hot lye water to dissolve the oils. And now I'm just adding some liquid oils. I tend to do it this way because I don't want the temperature to be too cool when I add the lye. I want the lye to really melt those hard oils before adding my liquid oils. So now I'm just adding some olive oil, and then I'll go ahead and add some castor oil. So those are the two liquid oils. And then, I think it was even at this point I remember there was no coconut oil. Yeah, so you can see I added the coconut oil. So after the coconut oil is dissolved, then I'll go ahead and add the castor oil. So I just made sure everything, all the oils were well mixed in together. And then now I am adding the star of the show, and that is our egg yolk. And so what you do here is the egg whites, you don't add the egg white. Um, Honestly, I'm not sure why, but I think the egg whites will probably just be weird in the soup. But you just kind of scoop that egg yolk and just dump it in. So once that is in, I then took my stick blender. So it was nothing, this is not a long process soup to be honest. Just took my stick blender and blended away, and then proceeded to pouring it in my mold. So you can see there how the color isn't like, I was expecting that yellow from the egg yolk to be deep, but it wasn't even deep. If anything, it looked more creamy to me. But it did show though, there was a tint at some point, like I could see a bit of a yellow, and it was just nice how it blended in quite well. Like you could never tell there was any egg in this soup. Like I had imagined that the batter would kind of look weird, but there was nothing weird about the batter. It was just a perfect batter. I guess that's why it's just the egg yolk. Maybe the egg whites would have made some things a bit weird and slimy. But yeah, and then you could just see that some of the membrane stuck to the stick blender there. That honestly was the only weird thing about it. Nothing else was weird. It was just perfect. And then I poured that into the mold. And then there's another highlight here for me where like I decided to do like an African design on my mold. So see what I ended up doing as my texture. So this is my design, and this reminds me of some African prints. You tend to see these on clothes and things like that. So if you look very well at some African material, I think even kente, you will see things, patterns like this. So this was just so lovely for me. Anyway, this was the next day, exactly 24 hours later, I decided to unmold with a small mold, this small square 1 pound mold is always such a headache sometimes, not every time, to unmold. To actually, I think every time. Yeah, it's a headache to unmold. You have to be really patient so you don't end up messing the soap up because you know the soap is still pretty soft, it's not as hard. So it's always good to just be patient. So you'll find me struggling here a little bit before I manage to unmold this soap. Yeah, and then when I unmold this, you actually get to see just how pretty this soap turned out. Look at that, guys. Very creamy, very yummy looking. I hate to say yummy, but it is yummy looking. Anyway, so I decided to cut in not cubes, but like squares rather than, rectangular. So you find that I cut it halfway through the middle. And then you can see this little gel ring here. That cleared away within 24 hours. The soap was completely clear of any form of gel rings. The egg did not make the soap look weird in any way. This probably was just still the process going on with the whole soap, just still going through gel or something. I don't know. But that definitely cleared up. You're going to see the picture at the end of this. And so I decided to cut it this way just to kind of retain more of that African pattern on each soap. And obviously just so the soap is easier to handle, because I find that with these molds, what the soaps that come out of it, my hands are quite small, so they're usually quite big for my hand. So I decided to cut it that way. And then now I brought out my soap beveler that I've had for a long time but somehow forgot about and decided to use it here so I can get that perfect finish. And then I'll also go ahead and do some soap stamps, and you guys will see the results of this beautiful, beautiful soap. I can't wait to do a lather test of this soap and show you guys how it turns out, like in terms of what the lather turns out like, because mm, this soap honestly felt so yummy. So I can't wait to see how creamy, and it's just so creamy to even look at. Like I've never made a soap that looks this creamy, like just to look at it, you know. So I actually can't wait to use it and see. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. I really hope you subscribe to my channel and you enjoy what I have to show. And thank you for watching to this point. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with exposure for the video. And yes, so thank you. I'm about to get to 2,000 subscribers, guys. Oh my gosh. Can you guys just help me grow? Like, just hit that subscribe button and be one of the people that will get me there. Especially if you enjoyed this. Like, soap making is fun. Who doesn't like watching soap making, guys? Really. Anyway, thank you guys for watching and have a great day. Bye.